So, Raphael here with an update. Um, so I had to go in and fix up a lot of bugs. I was implementing something called a parallax tile background layer, and I've got that to work. It was very, very tricky, but the idea is that if you set that tile grid to a different width than the rest of the tiles, then it's going to scroll along with the level, but it's only going to scroll enough so that when we get to the end of the level, we will also reach the end of that grid. So that was all right, that was tricky. That was very tricky. I think I may have to go back and make some adjustment because I think I made a boo. But nonetheless, I'm going to demonstrate it. So we still have a background layer. That would be the blue design things that you see in the back over there. Again, if you see any stuttering, that's OBS Studio. Then we have a tile background layer. It's always parallax by nature if we want it to be that way. Then we have the background sprite layer, which most of the time would get used to put little backgrounds and whatnot. I don't know, I was kind of using the tile background layer to use that as background and then use the other one to just place decorations, but we'll see how it works out. Might just have to add another layer. I don't want to, but we might have to. And then of course we have the main sprite layer, and then a foreground layer, and then soon enough we will have a tiled foreground layer, which will behave much the same way as the parallax layer behind it. So I made a little test level here, and we are gonna go ahead and play it. Of course, I can still detect spikes. That's good. Getting crush is detected as well. You can see pop blocks are working. So we're gonna proceed forward. We're gonna jump on this little platform here, and you can see how that the background there animates. Now, when I move left, you'll see I've got this feeling of depth now, perception that those objects back there are like further away from the level because they're moving slower. And that's what we call a parallax background. I'm not sure why OBS can't keep up with this, but on my computer it's smooth. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna jump on. Oh man, that's a long jump right there. Okay, let's see. Whew. Yeah, so jump on that little block, and biggest change here is just the way those see that blinking thing back there. Just pay attention to that. Just it really changes the feel of the whole thing. Will I be able to make it? Yes. These are scary jumps. So we got some back there that are obviously turned off. Here we got a little bit of the Z layering, where one of the hydraulic things or the support things appears at the back of the sprite, and then when we jump here it appears on the front of the sprite. So again, give you that feel of perception. So I think that is the end right there, but I will go into developer mode uh, and demonstrate how these grids are active now. So we're on grid layer number 3. And you can see when I'm editing on this grid, let's switch to a different tile here. Should be better. Actually, oops, let's just turn off the tile selector. There we go. Now we can just get this selection here. You can see that this layer moves. I can scroll that layer just like so. But if I want to edit those objects back there, they are on a different grid layer. So as soon as I go to layer number 0, the grid changes. Now I cannot scroll up or down with this grid because this grid is designed to be a certain width and height, and it will not exceed those values. So as you can see, as we scroll the background, it goes very, very slow in comparison to the rest of the level. You can see it doesn't really match up with the tiles on that grid. But if we were to switch to a different layer, like the main layer, then all of a sudden the tiles line up. That means we're editing this layer. And when we go back to the other layer, of course, we can edit these objects. And we can add an object just about anywhere to give the layer, give the level a little bit more realism. I'm going to turn this back on here, and we're going to select something. Let's see, we're just going to place a sprite. How about this? So we're going to put this right here. Just by clicking, we can put that right there. Or we can get really creative and use one of our more sophisticated. Let's see if I can find it here. Oh, there we go. That's it. That is it. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to place this somewhere around where it really makes an impact. Maybe around here. Okay. We're going to place it right there. Right here. So we're just going to do that. This is for example, and you can see it stays in the back, and it's also transparent along with the background. So we can put more of these little things here. And we can go back to play mode, and they will appear way back there along with everything else. And of course, transparency is activated with them as well. So you can make some interesting looking stuff. Put some artwork back there. And we got some interesting looking levels. Now, let's see. Let's jump across here. Oh my god. Woo! So you can see this is beginning to this is really what I wanted. I've got background is working. It's parallax. We got that layer in the back working as it should. We got collision is work. I think everything's really working well right now to the point where I'm ready to add new features. I'm just doing a lot of just generic artwork right now, like these weird looking tile things. And you can see, I think I won't be able to save this level. You can just see the effect of that. Look at that. That's a really awesome effect. So we go back here, you can see how we have stuff to blink back there. So you can definitely add flipbooks to those tiles to create the illusion of perception. And there we go, we're back here. We have here a nice background. Oop. Well, so that is the update that I have for today. On the next update, I will most likely have the sound system working. I will also have, I think that the sound system already works. It just needs to be a little bit more sophisticated, you know, to get a little bit more control out of it. Let's see, I don't know, the other character, Lucy, is not going to be activated for now. Let's see, what else do I plan? What else do I plan to do? Maybe clean up the code a little bit. Do some more artwork. Let's see, what else? I know there's something that I wanted to implement. But yes, the level editor. I need to be able to save levels. But actually, no, I'm going to hold off on that. I still need to implement enemies. For example, if an enemy fires a bullet at me or some kind of object, that obviously has to be rendered on some sort of layer. It's obviously going to be the object layer, but the object layer is only as see, that's something that needs to be built in. So we're missing that. We're still missing enemies. Really not to worry about, because that's just a class that can just be implemented into the game engine, and that will be easy. So that's not really part of. I think for the most part, the whole rendering thing is working correctly. So, okay, I'm just ranting now. So, well, until the next update, well, I will have many awesome things. I may also go in and correct that jittering with the. That might have to do with the way that this whole thing animates. But anyway, yeah. Until next time, guys. Laters.